God and Goddess energy.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Ray of Sunshining, aka Ray of Sunshine.
Today, I'm Ray of Sunshine, and I'm different in lots of ways than lots of other people.
I'm tickled pink that you're here with me today. You know, the reason I thought of pink is because, and I can't show you because it took me so long to set up this camera the way it is and I can't move it. But down behind me is a little patch of ladies' slippers.
I'm unnormal, and I'm excited that you're here with me today. I'm delighted that you're here with me today. I have the magic touch. I'm delighted that you're here with me today. I hope you keep popping in every once in a while to stay in touch, because I have some exciting things going on. I'm so glad you're here with me today. I have lots of things to talk about, Sunshine, and I'm elevated that you're here with me today. I'm delighted that you're here with me today. Hey, if somebody sent you this video, I think you could learn some from their wisdom. Well, I want to welcome you here, especially if it's your first time. Probably somebody sent you this video, so we're going to talk about that in a second, too.
I'm so excited that you're here with me today. So anyway, there's a lot of tickled pink going on around here, as you can tell.
I'm in the process of discovering what different I want to hold on to and what different I want to eliminate. If that's something that you're looking to discover about you, you came to the right place.
Today, I'm going to be talking about God and Goddess energy. You know, as you may be aware, especially if you've been to my program repeatedly,
One of all my previous videos. And that's what they're designed for. Even though, you know, they're different. And they're all different. And if you, this one here, what is this one going to say? This one's going to say magic touch. You probably already know that, right? It says magic touch. Suppose you looked at my page,
I have a revolving format. And it's to show an evolutionary process. It's to illustrate the evolution of our species on this planet. It's also to illustrate the evolution of us as individuals.
Because I want you to see the difference. That's the whole idea. To see the progression of me,
the U-ness of you exploding.
Me discovering the meanness of me, and you discovering the uniqueness. The focus could be on finding that which contributes toward happiness. Me discovering the meanness of me, and you discovering the you-ness, the uniqueness of you. Suppose you looked at a whole page full of those and they all said magic touch. And suppose every one of them that you opened up said magic touch. I'm going to tell you about magic touch, right? I'm Ray of Sunshine. Suppose every one was this video. That would be a little boring, would it not? So there's a whole array of rays of sunshine back there. That's what our lives are like sometimes, like a freak show. And that's what my whole presentation shows. Stumble and fall, stumble and fall. Freak show.
You can learn some things about me and learn some things about you. So the format that I'm developing now is the oracle cards. You know, I've used fortune cookie. Well, I use lots of things, and you'll see them all in my previous videos. But now I have this new deck of oracle cards, and it's called The Chosen Ones 144, created by Magi, the High Priestess. And what I did before this program began is I picked one of the cards for today's topic. And as you can see, it's Goddess energy. And today, I'm going to be talking about God and Goddess energy. You know,
and they're all very different from each other. They come to you in sections to illustrate a point, to illustrate a progression, the progression that we have, that we are on this planet right now. Hey, you know, I should tell you, let me start by, maybe I already started, but let me continue by showing you around a little bit. I'm in my sanctuary, and yes, I know there's funny business going on. You know, there's funny business going on in every single one of the Ray of Sunshine videos. There's a whole array of rays of sunshine, and there's different happening, and different kinds of funny happening in every single one of them. Is to show a progression. It's to show where we're going as a civilization.
Which is not necessarily male or female. It can apply
heart
to heart. Apply to either, but that's what I'm going to talk about today. Goddess energy. Heart to heart.
Stars flashing up in the sky here. I was in the same section, I believe. It was back in June when it was my birthday that I was celebrating. I had the same kind of setup, a similar setup to what's going on here. But you know, it kind of fits in with my theme here. The theme of my whole video presentation, which shows a progression. It shows a transition, and it's sort of set up on the ABC model. And so as we transition, there's an overlap sometimes. You know, you may notice that sometimes in my presentations, the sound sometimes is not all that great, the lighting is not all that great. And if you think it's not great now, you should see back in some of my earlier videos. But you know what? I left it all exactly the way it is, because here's our chance to unite. Here's our chance to come together. Here's our chance, because my whole video presentation depicts a metaphor for life. And life sometimes has its challenges, and we need to learn to navigate through that. And that's what I'm trying to show with this video presentation. Hey, by the way, if somebody sent you this video, could be they think an awful lot of you. Create the world of our dreams. To deliberately create the world as we would choose to design it. So you may want to catch up on the old world me and see where we're leading to. And also in my pilot video, which goes back that goes back to almost a year ago now, it's 25 minutes and 26 seconds of on the edge of your seat excitement. And you know, it's not really a prerequisite, but that particular video gives you a little bit of a background about me. And just like in every one of my videos, you're going to learn some things about me and learn some things about you. But also in that video, it basically talks about a crime that myself and my co-defendant were convicted of unjustly. You know, quite a number of years ago, and I have this story in one of my earlier videos, and chances are there will be a link for it in one of the boxes on the side of my head at the end of this video. I believe it's called Royalty. Anyway, I was visiting Central America, and you know, and that whole process and what that evolved into, and what it is evolving into is what this whole series is developing into as well, because that's kind of a prerequisite to kind of know what that whole scenario was. Plus, you're going to relate to it because it talks about, it talks about devastation, it talks about heartache, it talks about pain, it talks about loss, it talks about all the things that you've been going through in this lifetime. And I'll give you the synopsis story right now. But I was out at, so it wasn't really a nightclub, but it's their version of a nightclub, I guess. It's an outdoor bar. And I stumbled across a guy, or actually he stumbled across me. He had a little bit too much of the libations. And anyway, he says to me, regalia. And so, I was with a friend of mine who was actually traveling with me. She was traveling there to learn to speak Spanish, and I had no clue whatsoever. So I said, hey, Laura, what does that mean, regalia? And she says, oh, it means you are royalty. And I was taken back, and I said, because it resonated with me. I said, royalty. Clearly, this guy had some strong psychic abilities, and so he detected something in me. In fact, there were a lot of things that happened to me when I was down in Central America where I resonated with a lot of stuff that was going on. Like, I have been there. I was thinking about, because on a lot of my videos, I repeat a lot of the same things on a lot of my videos, I realize. One of the things I repeat a lot is, you can't have too much happy, so, why not contribute toward it? Help happy happen, those kind of things. I was thinking, it occurred to me, and this crossed my mind once before too, suppose there is such a thing as too much happiness. So anyway, he says to me, regalia, you are royalty. And I held on to that thought for a long, long time. And for years, every once in a while, I would think about that trip, and that would pop into my mind, you are royalty. Goddess energy. I don't know. I don't know what the repercussion would be, but suppose this, and then, if anybody is going to ever figure it out, it'll probably be me to expose it. Hey, I found out there is such a thing as too much happy, so you better stop it. Stop it now.
And I would embellish that, and I would elaborate on that in my imagination, the idea that, probably when I was in that country, who knows how many lifetimes ago, I was a king or a queen, or you can see, it's goddess energy.
Hey, don't forget to share this video so we get all... Maybe somebody shared this video with you on a silver platter video, so we get all the other sunflowers to blossom with us.
Or some kind of royalty. And I really like the feeling of that. And so I capitalize on it. And so there's a lot of different going on inside of us. And that's what I'm here to draw out. The uniqueness of you. Because we all have something to contribute. We all have something to contribute on it. And about a couple of years ago, I had and I have this story too in one of my earlier videos, and maybe that one will be in the box on the side of my head too at the end of this video. But I met someone who I thought would be the perfect romantic partner, and he didn't think so. But anyway, during that, and we had some conflicts. It turned out to be the impetus for me to transition to focus on loving me. You might recall this movie about the Yellow Brick Road and all that kind of stuff. Well, that story about the Yellow Brick Road and the Emerald City and all that has very close correlation to our Earth story. For me to see myself as royalty, to see myself as worthy, to see myself as valuable. And so we find a way to shift the focus from drudgery and hardship to overcoming and to rising up and to realizing the benefit of deliberately changing focus. Focusing on happiness. What makes you happy? Whose happiness are you here for? I hadn't felt like that in a long, long time. In some of my earlier videos, in fact, a couple of them just prior to this, which is at the end of the L sections, I talk about, and my pilot video too, which is before my 1 through 6 video collection. It's my very first video that's almost a year and a half ago that I made it. It talks about a situation in my life which knocked me for a loop. I became unwanted by society in general, unloved, unvalued, unloved, pounced on with those kinds of derogatory attitudes. You start adopting it. You start becoming that way. Or I did. Yeah. This is the ray of sunshine that you get 100% right here, right now, just like all the 100% rays of sunshine that you get. The sun and the moon have wiggled their way in here. I don't know how that happens. But, actually, it's representative of the theme of my whole video presentation. Expect the unexpected. So I didn't see myself as royalty at all. I saw myself as worthless, unlovable. I didn't love me. I hated me. So all pretty much says it all. I mean, what is there not to understand about that? Or what is there, like everyone else, hated me. And that was my existence. In fact, it was right here in this area of my sanctuary when I first was showing pictures. It was in my pilot video. There's a message there for you. Showing pictures of my husband Sid, right? And I have a lot of stories about Sid in all of those earlier videos because he's quite a character, and we had lots of fun. So anyway, he passed away in 2015. Before he did, he gave me this, and he said,
I think it looks just like you. And honestly, the day he told me that, I was a little bit insulted, and I said, "Oh yeah," I wanted to punch him, but I smiled and I said, "Yeah, I think you're right." But as time goes on, and this guy has appeared in many of my different videos. Now he's becoming very, very popular. But as you can see, especially with my hairdo, that we look very, very much like him, and becoming more and more alike every day. And I'm liking it.
Depression, despair, unmotivated, uninspired, suicidal. So, it was a difficult path to follow, and a difficult challenge to pull myself out of that situation. And that is exactly what this whole presentation is all about. It's to show an evolution.
About that, or what is there to not understand about that? Oh, so in one of those previous videos, I talk about coming up with a way to describe it in other words to have a better understanding of it, but it's not possible because that already says it all. All is all.
To show rising up and realizing the royalty that we are, and the god or goddess energy that we possess.
When I was gathering my apparatus here, the recording stuff to come over in the sanctuary, I grabbed this little fortune that I intended to read because I didn't even know what it said at the time, but I brought it in here and I said, "Oh yeah, that's why." Change your thoughts, and you change the world as well. So, my plan here is to get us all on the same page. And that might seem like a little bit of an unbelievable concept, but listen, here's a start. Just about everybody, probably everybody you can think of, whether you know them or not on this planet, has some sort of device. A device that they can watch or listen to a program such as this one. And guess how they might catch wind of such a program as this? You could share it. Shaking the world is not necessarily an easy task. It's a simple task, but it's a simple concept, and it's a matter of believing. Share it with all the people you know. The way for that to happen, the most efficient way, the easiest way, how easy can it be? You share this video. Share this video. The reason that we don't have a world of peace, the reason that we don't have a world of brotherhood, the reason we don't have a world of everyone treating everyone like they're our brothers and sisters is because we don't believe it's possible. If you don't believe something is possible, it's not possible. We're all incarnated with a spark of the divine. And that divine is what we are. We're a spark off the old block. Anyway, we're going to be talking about believing that we can make this world a better place. So that's the point of this program, to figure it out, to figure out how to believe that that's possible. And I'm here to tell you, I'm here to promise you, it's possible. So in order for that to happen, we all need to do our share because we all need to be on the same page. The way you can do your share is the same way that somebody did their share when they had the love enough to send you this video on a silver platter. That's how the system works. I talk about it in every single one of my videos, but it's not going to happen unless it sinks in. So sometimes it takes a little slapping around to get us to realize that. So that's what I see my situation as, being kind of slapped around, being kicked around. I was kicked over and over again. I was kicked till I was down, and once I was down, I was kicked again and kicked again and kicked again. And I have those stories in many of my previous videos. But because we're on a tipping point. This is the tipping point. This is the tipping point of human kindness. It's the most exciting time ever to be a human being on this planet. And we chose to be here. About an unjust criminal conviction
for a sex offense that my husband Sid and I were subjected to many years ago, and that I served a sentence for, and that I'm still serving a sentence for, even after all this time, because even though my sentence was up, the state of Rhode Island,
We chose to be here.
decided to tack on some additional time. They call it community supervision, but it's the same thing as probation, with all the restrictions in place. Every single one of the restrictions is exactly the same as on probation.
But the only reason we don't have that, let me show you this as well, because I actually have had this in several of my earlier videos when I have a tour back there of my sanctuary. Peace on earth. That's the goal. And the reason we don't have it is because there's not enough of us who actually believe it.
So that's what this series is all about: learning, loving, and loving living. So that's why it's important for you to go back and take a peek.
But the one thing that is predictable about it is that it can only get better. If we choose to see it that way, it's a choice, it's a decision, and it's our choice to create it. Before I fill you in on those details, it's a freak show back there. So I talk about it in a lot of different ways in many of my previous videos about how sometimes, there's some topsy-turvy going. Hey, you know why it's important for me to be an elevator? Because the best thing you can do right now to benefit this entire collective on this entire planet is to elevate things that are a little bit off kilter, or things that are a little bit confusing, or some shenanigans going on, or things that are a little bit confusing on, or things that are a little bit off kilter, some shenanigans going topsy-turvy going on, or things that are a little bit off kilter, or things that are a little bit... And I'm not going to talk about it too long, because I don't like to make my videos too long. You know me by now. I don't want to bore you, even though I repeat the same things over and over in every single one of my videos. I say it in a lot of different ways to try to keep you engaged. Right? But the thing to realize is, it's a metaphor for life. Some shenanigans go. It's a freak show. What's he talking about? It's a metaphor for life. And you send it to some character who might otherwise not have had the opportunity had it not been for you. Get it?
Create you! Take a peek at one of those videos that'll be in the box on the side of my head, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. The evolutionary process and the blossoming from crappy to happy. It's playtime. Playtime! Create you! It's playtime. Create you!